Hi everyone, my name is Chris. My channel is called The Body Wish, your gateway to holistic remedies, wellness tips, and improved mindset. Welcome to my series, Wellementary, where I connect with experts in fitness, nutrition, along with my recommendations to help you live a healthy and abundant life. What's up, YouTube? I hope you're doing well. My name is Chris. My channel is called The Body Wish. It was called The Body Wish last night. It was called The Body Wish today. Nothing's changed since then. I hope you're doing well wherever you are on the globe. I work in the health and wellness industry, and I help people to achieve and maintain optimal well-being. I do this in part by recommending certain foods that will help set them up for success, help them to avoid the ones that are going to trip them up for failure. And I also improve mindset. Don't you hear the gong of wisdom going off in your head right now? So I'm going to be talking to you about a problem that affects way too many people in this country, more than half, and that is the ongoing struggle with excessive weight gain, all the frustrations that go with it. But it's not all doom and gloom. I do have some optimistic news reporting coming up in a minute. But first, we got to take a deep dive, shallow dive, whatever you want to call it, belly flop, into what's driving food cravings, what is causing people to have so much trouble losing weight and keeping it off. See, it's the latter that is tripping so many people up. The good news, I come equipped with real science to back up everything I'm going to share with you, so you don't have to take my word for anything. I am not a promoter of bro science. I actually love to share clinical science with people. Science is irrefutable. It stands up on its own. And the great thing about science is it doesn't change its mind from one minute to the next. So let's take a quick minute or so and go into why people are driven to compulsive eating. And of course, I'm alluding to chronic food cravings. Chronic food cravings, yes, persistent, kind of like a mosquito that's buzzing in your ear and does so relentlessly. Now, there are different schools of thought as to what drives food cravings, and some people tend to come at it more from the perspective of psychology, meaning they look at the relationship that the individual is having with food, and they try to look closely at things that trigger these insatiable food cravings. Now, I come at it more from the perspective of nutrition, because cravings, when you think about it, are just the body's way of telling you it needs nourishment. And unfortunately, we've gotten so far off track from nourishing our bodies that it's kind of out there in the fog somewhere. It's a distant planet that is orbiting us, but it is still within our reach. We just got to learn how to get back into this. Now, it is very difficult too because a lot of the foods in the supermarket are nutritionally bankrupt. These are foods that don't have the nutrients that we need in the quantities that we need them. A lot has changed over the last 70 years, and it's not like our great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents used to eat. So a lot of things are loaded with all kinds of processed sugar and chemicals. Don't even ask me to pronounce them. You couldn't pay me because my Latin is really rusty. In fact, it's non-existent. In all seriousness, it is a big problem. There's a lot of junk out there that's just kind of intended to fill your belly up, but with no nutritional value. So if you're one of these people who's been in this unfortunate cycle of eating repetitively, never feeling satiated, there is a real scientific reason for that, and it's because it's the food quality, I should say, that is driving these. You know, I was just watching a video today, actually, on the topic of refined sugar. This is the white processed sugar, and it actually just keeps you coming back for more. No kidding, it tastes good. I mean, I liked it when I was a kid. I used to actually take a teaspoon and put it in the sugar jar because my parents always had one on the table because they would dump it in their coffee. And I remember as a kid, I was probably like 3 or 4 years old, and I thought, wow, this stuff's good, sign me up. Of course, in moderation, it's not a big yahoo, but that's the thing. It's more than just in moderation now. It's like loaded in so many foods. Now, when you get stuck in this cycle of having these persistent food cravings, many people end up putting weight on. Okay, it's not a big revolution here. Revelation. We got to revolt against the food industry. It's not a big revelation. That's because the foods are not nourishing the body to begin with, and it's causing excessive weight gain. Now, the biggest problem that people run into is not just losing weight in the short term, it's keeping it off for the long haul. Yeah, absolutely, Bam Bam. Absolutely. Yeah, people don't know. I mean, I didn't know at one point. We just kind of blindly assume that you go into the supermarket and then most of the stuff is safe enough to eat. And it's not like it hurts you right then and there when you leave or the first time you eat it, but over time, absolutely. It does start to hammer on everything that is good within our miraculous bodies. Now, a lot of times when people get overweight, they reach for some method of calorie deficit. Whether it's a diet, there's hundreds of diets out there now, or these new pharmaceutical drugs, the ones that suppress the appetite. Now, all of this is code word for calorie deficit. However, this was something that kind of blew my mind when I learned this a couple of years ago. There's no medical proof that counting calories works long term. And what happens more times than not is when people go into a calorie deficit, they end up slowing their metabolism down. Now, why does this happen? Because your body starts looking for other sources of energy. When you go into a calorie deficit, I don't care if you're doing a diet, I don't care if you're doing the pharmaceutical alternative. At some point, when the body doesn't have enough fuel to operate on to carry out a lot of the basics, like thinking, blinking your eyes, breathing, it starts turning to other sources for energy. And the two places that it turns to is fat, but it also turns to muscle. And it's that loss of muscle that slows down the metabolism, and that makes it very difficult to keep losing weight. That's why a lot of people hit that brick wall. They don't know what's going on. They're scratching their head. They're going to the gym even more, working out, hitting the treadmill, lifting weights. You can't get past that certain point. Yeah, you're right, Bam Bam. Your body would consume itself. And that's exactly what it's doing. It's actually converting muscle tissue and even organ tissue into carbohydrates because it's being nutritionally starved. Now, not in the literal sense. It's not like you become emaciated in 2 weeks, although you would if you completely starved yourself. But it's more about you're starving the body of nutrients that it needs. That's what causes the metabolism to slow down. Let me show you, since I do like to lead with science and not just give you my version of reality. This is a study I always encourage people to look up, and it's just one of several studies now. This was by Harvard Medical School, so I'd say it's a reliable source. Stop counting calories. It's very easy to find, and even better, it's easy to understand. And the expert who conducted this study just a couple of years ago said that not only is counting calories inefficient, it's flat out wrong. Those are her words. And it's because of what I was just saying, because of the loss of muscle, slowing down the metabolism, hitting that brick wall, and many people end up thinking it's them. They think there's something wrong with their body. They think they don't have willpower. This is not about willpower anymore. This is the limitation and the downside of counting calories. So if counting calories is not all it's cracked up to be, and it's not, there's no medical proof it works long term, what other options do we have? Well, you're in luck because I want to share a holistic nutritional system that has helped tens of thousands of people. Most people have never even heard of it. And it was actually clinically tested at the University of Chicago, Arizona State, Skidmore College in upstate New York, as well as the University of Pittsburgh. So what I'm going to share with you in a minute is actual human clinical trials. And it was tested against the Mediterranean diet, which is the gold staple in the United States for weight loss. Mediterranean diet is not a bad diet. There's a lot of healthy, good things to eat, but because it is based on calorie deficit, guess what happened? Even the folks who were on the Mediterranean ended up putting the weight back on over the course of a year. That's the outcome of every single method of calorie deficit. Does it impact everybody? No. Some people manage to dodge the raindrops. They can keep the weight off for the long haul. It's not working for most people. How do we know this? Because the numbers are going up. You guys can, here's another resource you can look up. The Lancet Medical Journal is a British medical journal, one of the most prestigious in the world. Look up obesity apocalypse. They have predicted that if we don't change the trend here in the U.S., that by 2050, 260 million plus people are going to be either overweight or obese. That's sobering news, to say the least, and that's not very encouraging. It's demoralizing. But there is ways around this. So I want to share the method now that I am most familiar with, and I've seen it work for a lot of people. So I'm going to switch cameras. And what you're looking at is called the 30-day reset. And it's a holistic nutritional system. It has nothing to do with counting calories. This is about optimizing the body's performance overall so that it can have a healthier immune system and a strong metabolism, build lean muscle, improve gut health. Nothing to do with cutting back on fuel. This is actually adding fuel. You are cutting back on the amount, but you're not cutting back on the nutrition, and that's what makes it different from anything else out there. Victoria, gosh, it's truly shocking. Yes, obesity. 1 in 8 people now across the world are clinically obese. That's over 1 billion people. Good point, Victoria. Over 1 billion people are clinically obese now. And here's another startling. I'll get back to the 30-day in a moment, but this is worth sharing. Obesity has actually surpassed starvation as the leading form of malnutrition. I mean, I fell off my chair when I heard this. This was put out in 2000. It was either 2018 or 19. Another medical journal had made this announcement. So we don't tend to think of people as who are overweight as also being starved nutritionally, but that's exactly what's going on. The body is not getting the nutrients it needs. See, we've been going about this all wrong. We've been going about this from the perspective that we need to lose weight to get healthy. It's the other way around. I'll go into this system now, and that's exactly what this system is about. It's getting the body healthy so it can lose weight and keep it off. I'll give you a quick overview of these 3 core products that come with this system. So it's called a 30-day reset. I don't know if I said that or not, but I'll repeat myself. What the heck? It's all free advertising on YouTube anyway. So this system comes with the product in the middle there with the red text. Those are superfoods. They're really easy to prepare. You'd make it just like your favorite smoothie. The 2 products in the upper left, those are adaptogens. Those are going to help to lower your stress level. And then the 2 on the bottom left are detoxifying botanicals we would take on a day of intermittent fasting. Now, check this out. I'm going to show you some of the first of 7 studies when this was tested against the Mediterranean diet, and this was pretty groundbreaking. Those who were on the 30-day system for the first study, ran for 8 weeks, they lost 56% more weight than those who were on the Mediterranean. The 30-day people lost twice as much visceral fat. That's the fat that is the hardest to burn. It's also the fat that stores toxins when the body can't eliminate them. People also saw a 41% drop in hunger cravings. How does that sound for the folks who are obsessed with food noise? That's pretty significant in 8 weeks. 25% improvement in gut health. And then 6 to 9% more lean muscle for the folks who are on the 30-day, whereas the people on the Mediterranean ended up losing lean muscle because it's calorie deficit. So pretty amazing for just 8 weeks. And that was just the first of 7 studies. Let me keep going here. I'll show you how simple this system is to implement. So one of the core products, one of the 3 core products are the superfoods, as I mentioned. So what you do is you replace 2 of your 3 meals. So you can do like a breakfast and a lunch or a lunch and a dinner. It's completely up to you. And you're going to load up on the superfoods. They're going to help make up for the nutrients that unfortunately are no longer abundant in our store-bought foods. Fact. It's less than $5 a serving. So it's less than a Starbucks. And you get all of this nutritional goodness. You get all 90 key nutrients. That's what makes it a meal replacement. They're low glycemic, so they're not going to spike your sugar level. You get 36 grams of protein in either whey or plant-based. It's your choice. You can actually mix and match because it gives you a few options. These are gluten-free. They've got the essential vitamins and minerals. They're soy-free. They come in a variety of delicious flavors. So these are great for people with busy schedules. Very convenient without cutting corners on nutrition. Clinically proven to add the muscle. That 6 to 9% increase in muscle, that is because of these superfoods. So you do this for the first 6 days of each week. You replace 2 meals. Then on the 7th day, we're going to do a day of intermittent fasting. And this product here has 16 detoxifying herbs that help the liver more efficiently get rid of some really awful toxins that we're exposed to. And again, everything I'm sharing with you was clinically tested in all these universities, so none of this is my opinion. It was clinically proven to get rid of things like forever chemicals, dioxins, PCBs, pesticides, herbicides. Yeah, this stuff's in our food. This stuff is in the air. It's in the water. I'm sorry to say this, but it's best to know what you're dealing with. So we're going to do that on a day of intermittent fasting. And then the third and final core product that this system incorporates are adaptogens. Now, if you're not familiar with adaptogens, these are different types of plants that help us to recover from stress. So if you're feeling stressed out, adaptogens are a wonderful natural remedy to take the edge off. If you're feeling low energy, tired, sluggish, they help to perk your mental clarity. So it's an amazing system. It's very easy to implement. Notice I never said anything once about counting calories. And you know what? I didn't even mention this in the beginning, but here's the irony about calorie deficit. Your body does not know what a calorie is. Your body doesn't count calories. So you're going to hear a lot of influencers, not only on YouTube, but on the other platforms they dig in with both heels and they say the only way to lose weight is to count calories. You have to go into a calorie deficit. That's a bunch of hogwash. I'm not saying it doesn't work for, everybody, but for most people it doesn't. Because think about this, if calorie deficit was working, wouldn't the numbers be coming down? Instead, we're seeing more and more people become overweight, become obese, become diabetic. Clearly something's not working here, and calorie deficit is the go-to for most people because they don't know about this 30-day system. So if you or somebody you know is struggling with this kind of frustration of excessive weight gain, or you're feeling tired and sluggish all the time, first of all, you're preaching to the choir. I had chronic fatigue for over 25 years, so I know all about feeling completely wrecked from exhaustion. But this system works incredibly well. It's like a tune-up for a car, but it's a tune-up for the body. It helps to make up for the nutrients that are missing, so it floods the body with nutrition, it lowers your stress, and it detoxifies at the cellular level. I'm going to put a resource you can take a look at. This resource, by the way, is on my homepage here on YouTube, The Body Wish, but I'll throw it up on screen in case you want to take a screenshot of it. So it's a website that I put together a little while back. It's called thebodywish.wordpress.com. This is what the homepage looks like on a phone. Go up to the product menu and click on Nutritional System. And there's got a lot of good information on there, much of which I've just covered right here and now. There's also a really good 3-minute video that walks you through the whole system, explains how easy it is to take, and a little bit of the science too. It doesn't go like neck deep into science. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. Anybody can follow it. So on that note, if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, I got to drop off because I'm actually going to do this same thing all over again on TikTok in a couple of minutes. So, and I have the same profile name. It's The Body Wish. So I love being here on YouTube, and I'm very grateful for those of you who joined the presentation and put out your own comments. It's good to connect with people. So on that note, I'm going to drop off if there's no questions. I do have contact information on my YouTube channel. There's also a contact page up on the thebodywish.wordpress.com. So I got my emails up there, numbers up there, and also a Calendly link if you prefer to do like a Zoom call to protect your information. I get it. It's the internet. I'm some guy with a yellow hat and a microphone on YouTube. You don't know me from a hole in the wall. So I totally understand. But, Zoom is always safe. So, Victoria, yes, it is an amazing system. It's pretty groundbreaking. I mean, I got on it was about 4 years ago. I had a 25-year period of my life where I was dealing with chronic fatigue all the time, and it got really bad in the last 5 years of that 25-year period. And I tried the system out about 4 years ago, came highly recommended. I did it more out of curiosity, to be completely honest with you. I wasn't even thinking that this could be a solution, but boy, oh boy, everything improved. So that's the thing I walked away from, is that good quality nutrition really makes a difference. And I was eating good nutrition beforehand, but this took it up a whole notch. And, I'm 61 years old. I'm happy to say I've been exercising again for the past couple of years. In fact, I came back from a run earlier, been doing yoga, lifting weights. Everything has been good in the hood and working like it should. So I'm the man with the yellow hat. My name is Chris. My channel is called The Body Wish. Subscribe for more holistic remedies, wellness tips, and improved mindset. On that note, I will drop off. I'll play some outgoing music for you. Keep it fun. All right. Ciao for now.